So in 50, it says the sum of two positive numbers is 151. The lesser number is 19 more than the square root of the greater number. So what is the value of the greater number minus the lesser number? Now they told us that two numbers, they add up to 151. That's the word sum means. However, there's too many possibilities to just guess randomly. It would take you way too long. So what we've got is we've got two numbers, a and b plus b, and that equals 151. Now, a is the smaller, b is the greater, so I'm going to write it that way. A is less than b. Now it says the lesser number, that's a, is, which is another way of saying equals, 19 more than, that means we're adding 19, to the square root of the greater number. So that's square root of b. All right. So the question is, what is the value of the greater number minus the lesser number? Now what we have here is we have two equations and we have two variables. And so what we've got is we've got a system of equations that we can solve for. So what we have to do is we have to get one equation with one variable. And so what we can do is we can take this equation up here and say, all right, I want to get b by itself. How do I do that? I subtract a over to the other side. So we have b equals 151 minus a. That means I can take b out and substitute it with 151 minus a over here. So a is going to equal the square root of 151 minus a plus 19. So now, to solve for a, we've got this square root. How do we deal with that? First, we'll move the 19 over. So a minus 19 equals the square root of 151 minus a. So now to get rid of the square root, I square both sides. Now remember, when you square both sides, you are squaring a quantity. So we have a minus 19 squared equals 151 minus a. Now what does that mean if something is squared? Don't tell me a squared and 19 squared. You're missing the point. It's a minus 19 times a minus 19. So we have to FOIL that. So we have a squared minus 19a minus 19a plus, and just so I'm doing this right, 19 squared is 361 equals 151 minus a. So we have a quadratic here. Now let's combine these two middle terms. A squared minus 38a plus 361 equals 151 minus a. Now like all quadratics, we want to get them equal to 0. So first I'll add a to both sides. So we have a squared minus 37a plus 361 equals 151. Then we'll subtract 151 from both sides. So we have a squared minus 37a plus, let's get this number right, 361 minus 151 is 210. All right. So that's a plus. Now this one we can factor. This factors into a minus 30 and a minus 7. Because these two add up to 37a and these two multiply to 210. Okay, so what we end up with is we get two possible solutions. So we get a equal to 30 and a equal to 7. So the question is, which one works? Well, if a is 30, then that means that the other number, b, in this case, has to be 121. If a is 7, then b has to equal 144. How did I get that? Well, I just took 151 minus 7, because that's what's left over. Now, it said that the lesser number is 19 more than the square root of the greater number. So which of these will that work for? Well, if I take the square root of 121, that gives me 11. If I take the square root of 144, I get 12. So, in which case is this true? The lesser number is 19 more than the square root of the greater number. Well, it's true in this case, not this case. The reason we got 2 is because when you have a square root equation, oftentimes the square root eliminates one of the possibilities. This is the one that doesn't work. This is the one that does work. So it asks, what is the value of the greater number minus the lesser number? So we want 121 minus 30. And so we get an answer of 91. And so our answer is J.